Day 67, 365 days printing on vintage hardware. I think we've finally solved our under extrusion with stock firmware, stock profiles. Because what frustrates me is we put Clipper on this one and you give it the same math, we give it the same E-steps, the same pulley ratios, all that stuff, and it prints fine. I go to the stock firmware and the stock Skyforge profiles, and it's not like it needs a little bit of adjustment, it massively over extruded. So we learned a few things today, because I did put Sailfish on this yesterday, and I put Replicator G40 as our default now, and I tried to go to Skyforge 50, and the problem I ran into is the G-code wasn't actually exporting, and I found out that it had this box, add export suffix, checked. When you uncheck that, instead of creating a separate file, it puts it in the main G-code. The other thing you can do is if you don't want to see the layers after slicing, you can uncheck Analyze G-code. The main change that we have made is when we're using dimension, which actually uses volumetric extrusion instead of rotation, like you would with a DC extruder. Filament packing density. This really should be 1.0, but the higher we set this value, the less it extrudes. I do want to put a fresh nozzle on this before we really call what our settings are going to be from now on, but 1.5 is where I've landed on so far with the nozzle that's currently on the printer. The older firmwares is they treated the stepper a bit like they treated the old DC motors. You still set a single feed rate, you set a single rotational rate. Now the steppers have the advantage of having an exact speed, the ability to stop on a dime, and the ability to reverse reliably. But when we really start looking towards the future, we want to be able to do different speeds for different features, and we can't slow down and have the extruder spinning the same speed. So that's why we're messing with the newer firmwares, which they were experimenting on the Cupcake, and even the Thing-O-Matic with what they called 5D volumetric.